give God all the glory for His presence in our midst. We thank Him for bringing us once again to His sanctuary to honor and worship Him on this particular day, to celebrate the washing of the feet, a very important rite. I think it's done worldwide, not only in the Celestial Church but also in the Catholic Church. It's a rite that Jesus Christ our Lord did before He went to the cross. And so we too, we celebrate that, we follow that, to follow an example for our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Now, this chapter is from the book of John, chapter 13, verses 1 to 13. So now before the feast of the Passover. So what was the feast of the Passover? That was the feast that God told them to celebrate every year to remind them of the sacrifice of the firstborn. Because what happened in the Passover was that the angel of death went to Egypt and killed all the firstborn of man and animals. And the only houses that it did not enter were the houses where the blood was applied on the doorposts. The blood of the Lamb, the sinless Lamb of God. So God told them to do that every year because it was on that day that Pharaoh let them go free from their slavery. So that day, symbolic of the day we are set free from the bondage of sin. That is a celebration. And what set us free? The blood of the Lamb, the blood of our Lord Jesus Christ. That's what set us free. So that feast was supposed to be celebrated in Jerusalem. On that day, that same week, we were supposed to celebrate the Passover. That would have been on the Friday. And even now, the Jews still celebrate the Passover lamb. They still kill the lamb, there's certain prayers, and then they eat of the Passover. So Passover means the angel of death passed them over. So will destruction, disappointments, defeat pass us over tonight. So they were going to celebrate that feast, but in actual fact, in the spiritual realm, it was being celebrated because Jesus was the Lamb that was going to be killed for the sins of humanity, and it was His blood that God was going to use to pass us over so that Satan will release you and I. So the Jews were celebrating that feast, but they didn't realize that amongst them was the real Lamb of God that takes away the sins of the world. See? So that feast was supposed to be on Friday, and so when Jesus knew that His hour was come, that He should depart out of this world unto the Father, having loved His own which were in the world, He loved them unto the end. See, Jesus Christ, we never hear Him, saying He hated somebody or all this. No. He loved His own to the end. And He paid the supreme price, which is to lay down His life. Say, greater love has no man than this, that He laid down His life for His friends. So Jesus knew that He had to go to the cross to die as the lamb, just like in Egypt, they killed the lamb. And they put the blood on the doorposts. So the same way, Jesus Christ died. He died and His blood was accepted. His blood was accepted as a sacrifice for our sins. So He knew He was going to die for our sins. And after supper, they had the meal, the Last Supper. And after supper ended, the devil, having now put in the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray Him. So the temptation of Satan is in our hearts. That's where it starts. It's not outside, it's in the hearts. The devil that injected the thought into the heart of Judas to betray his Lord and Master for what? For money, 30 pieces of silver. See? Because Judas was a thief. The Bible says he was a treasurer, and he stole the money from the bag of money the disciples collected. He actually stole from it. Remember, he was an apostle that God called. He was healing the sick, raising the dead. Yet he was a thief. You see? So because he was a thief, because he was greedy, because he loved money, Satan now said, I'm going to use this one. And he got the chief priest to come in to offer him 30 pieces of silver if he could tell where Jesus Christ was. And he agreed. You see? He agreed. So he was used by Satan because he had greed in his heart. So Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things in his hands, and that it was come from God and was going back to God, so Jesus knew what was going to happen to him. He knew he was going to die gruesome death on the cross. It was not easy for him, believe you me. Can you imagine you knowing that they're going to beat you, they're going to tear your skin? I read somewhere today on WhatsApp that he had how many wounds? About 540 wounds on his back. His skin was torn to shreds because the cat of nine tails they used to beat him, he had metal at the end. So when they beat them and they pull it, he pulls the skin off because that metal goes into the skin and just pulls the skin off. And it was beaten like that so many times. So Jesus knew that he was going to go through this great trial, and he was prepared for it. And they had the Last Supper. You see that picture there? How he had the Last Supper with the disciples. It was like a farewell supper they were celebrating. And he told them that the bread they were eating was his body, and the wine they were drinking was his blood. And we're going to have communion tonight to celebrate that Last Supper. Very important. So let's go to a few verses. Matthew 11:27. 1 Corinthians 15:27. First Corinthians 15:27.
Matthew 11:27.
Yeah.
All things have been delivered to me by my Father, and no one knows the Son except the Father. Nor does anyone know the Father except the Son, and the one to whom the Son wills to reveal him.
Okay, good. And let's go to 1 Corinthians 15:27. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
For he has put all things under his feet.
Yes.
And when he says all things are put under him,
Yes.
it is evident that he who put all things under him is accepted.
Yes. So after having done that, after having had the meal with the disciples, the Last Supper, and having known where it was going, that it was going to pay the last price, the supreme sacrifice, he now rose from supper and he laid aside his garments. So he laid aside his garments and took a towel and girded himself. So in other words, he put off his normal clothes and put the towel around him. And what did he do after that? He poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet. And he didn't even tell them. He just said, you come, put your feet there. He began to wash their feet. Now none of them was bold enough to ask him the question why he was washing their feet. Then when he came to Peter, we know Peter was very forward. He always spoke his mind. And Peter said unto the Lord, Lord, do you wash my feet? In other words, how can you wash my feet? In other words, you shouldn't do this, Lord. This is the duty of a servant. How can you wash my feet? I'm supposed to be washing your feet, and you are washing my feet. So when he said that, Jesus said unto him, what I do, you don't know now, but you shall know hereafter. In other words, Peter, just trust me with this. Don't question, don't query, don't doubt, just trust me. You may not understand what I'm doing, but you will understand later. This is a very good point for all of us. Sometimes when God is dealing with us, many of us don't understand what's happening in our lives. We are asking God, why? Why this? Why that? And God is telling us, just walk with me. Just trust me. Later on, you will realize that this is what happens. Later on, we all understand why certain things happen in our lives, which you couldn't understand. God said, Peter, what I'm doing now, you don't know. But you will know eventually. Just trust me. Just trust me. Just follow me. So when he said that, Peter said, you shall never wash my feet. You can see that Peter was very bold and forward. Because he just didn't give me a reason. He just said, trust me. I said, no. I won't allow you to wash my feet. You are my master. How can you wash my feet? I'm supposed to wash your feet. He said, you shall never wash my feet. And Jesus had already washed the feet of the other disciples. So Jesus told him, Peter, if I do not wash your feet, you have no part with me. Wow, that's significant. Remember, Peter was one of the chief apostles. In fact, was the chief apostles. And Jesus said, if I don't wash your feet, you have no part with me. That meant that Peter would be cut off completely from Jesus. That means he would lose his salvation. So when he said that, Peter said, Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head. You can see Peter is from one extreme to another. There was no way, no middle way. It's either you do it or you go to that extreme. Before he was saying, yo, you can't wash my feet. Now, he said, no, not only my feet, now you have to wash my whole body. And he wasn't washing anybody's body, it was just their feet. But it was very significant that Jesus said that, because when he said, if I don't wash your feet now, you have no part with me. So this, what we're doing tonight is very important. There's a testimony I heard of a man who went to heaven, and they asked him, when was the last time he had his feet washed? He was asked in heaven, when was the last time? Because he hadn't done it for a long time. So don't just think we're just doing it for doing sake. No, there's a real spiritual reason. This washing we are doing, we are washing away your problems, we are washing away your difficulties. This water is especially preyed upon. That when we wash it, we use the water to wash your feet. That same power that's the water that Jesus Christ used to wash disciples' feet is in that water. And it will wash away your problems, your difficulties, everything. It will make you one with Jesus. Because Jesus Christ said, if I don't wash your feet, you have no part with me. Because you are still unclean, you are still dirty. This is the only part I'm going to wash all the problems, wash it off, then you become part of me. But if I don't wash it, you are unclean, you are not fit, you cannot qualify to be with me. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 6:11. 1 Corinthians 6:11. Ephesians 5:26. 1 Corinthians 6:11. Ephesians 5:26.
And such way some of you,
Yes.
but you were washed, but you were sanctified,
Yes.
but you were justified
Mm-hmm.
in the name of the Lord Jesus, and by the Spirit of our God.
See, you are washed, you are sanctified, you are justified. Justification means just as if you have not sinned. So this washing of feet is a process of sanctification, it's a process of justification. It's making you to become one with the Lord. Ephesians 5:26. Ephesians 5:26. Oh, yeah.
That he might be satisfied
Mm-hmm.
and cleansed,
Uh-huh.
each with the washing of water
Uh-huh.
by the word.
Yes, you see, you must be sanctified or cleansed. You see, this is why we do this, is to sanctify you, to cleanse you. Then you can be one with Jesus. Without that feet being washed, you are not complete. And that's what Jesus said next. He said, he that is washed need not save except to wash his feet, but is clean every whit way. And you are clean, but not all of you. It was saying that even though you can have a normal bath, but this washing of the feet is very important. It's the last part that must be cleansed. Once it cleanses you of that, then you are free, you become one with him, you are cleansed. So it's a process of sanctification. He said, you are clean, but not all. What did he mean by that? He knew that there was one of them, which is Judas, who was going to betray him. For he knew who should betray him. Therefore said he, you are not all clean. So after he had washed their feet and had taken his garments and was sat down again, he said unto them, do you know what I have done to you? You call me Master and Lord, and you say, well, for so I am. Then he continues to say, if I then, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash another's feet. See? So what it was showing really was, apart from sanctification, spirit of humility. If the creator of heaven and earth can go stoop so low as to wash the feet of his disciples. He says, how about you for your fellow human being? So Jesus Christ was trying to teach us to serve others, servanthood. That's what he was trying to teach us. You know, if he who was a Lord and Master, who was a teacher, who provided everything for them, if he could wash their feet, then they also should be able to do the same thing. And the same thing applies to you and I. We should let others go before us, serve others. It's when we do that God would promote us. You see, Jesus never lorded over anybody. He came to serve. He came to lay down his life. He didn't say I'm this and that. No. Even though he was their Lord, but he put down his life for you and I. So that same example of servanthood, of humility, we should also copy it and adopt the same attitude. So tonight we're going to go into the washing of the feet. That water has been specially prayed upon, and every celebration should have it done every year. Very important, because it's recorded in heaven for you. Every time you wash your feet, you are cleansed and brought closer. It's not just ordinary water, but just not washing feet. No, this is a spiritual exercise. You can know the importance when Jesus told Peter that if I don't wash your feet, you are not part of me. That tells you that this is a very important right. The pastor founder would have washed the feet of all the heads of the shepherds. Apostle used to do it, and then the pastor would have done it. And they would have taken the water and brought it to their churches. With the communion we're going to do later on tonight. As you partake of the communion, you are taking the body and the blood of Jesus Christ. Then you also become part of it, because when you eat his body, anything unclean in your body has to leave. Any stranger in your body must leave. If you drink his blood, his holy blood, everything unclean must leave. So before you take that communion, you must ensure that you forgive everybody who sinned against you, who has offended you. You remove all anger from your hearts. You have a clean heart. Because if you go and eat that communion with malice or grudge in your hearts, you are eating condemnation to your own life. So just let you know that you heart just say, Lord, I forgive so and so, I release them. If I cleanse my heart as I take off your body and your blood tonight, I want that power to come into my body. I want to cleanse my body, every sickness, every weakness, everything that's not of you, let it be washed away. I also pray as I go to have my feet washed, Lord, wash away every uncleanness in my life, every blockage, every tribulation, every hardship, wash it away. Let me become one with you tonight. And so this is what we're going to be doing. And we're going to go into the service very shortly. I'm going to go downstairs first. I'm going to start with the most senior member of the church. And after him, others will come. So the song we'll be singing is Be Mi Nu Odo.